Hello, everyone. This is Lorrie Hargis, and I just want to share with you the superpower of pine flower essence today for shame and blame. I'm a registered aromatherapist and flower essence practitioner, and flower essences can really truly be your superpower. So make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel and that you are in our Facebook groups. So, shame and blame can happen to any of us at any time, from a very small child. Maybe someone in our family, said, shame on you. I remember that happened to me as a child. And it left a lasting impression on me, especially a great grandmother who did that to me. And pine has been such a beneficial flower essence for that. So make sure you guys put in the comments how you have been shamed or blamed. So, and also where you're from. And that way we can get some ideas of, how this can happen. I know for me, it was a very interesting experience as a very small child to be blamed and to be shamed. So we are looking at pine flower essence. What happens when you are blamed and you are shamed? And I call it the shame and blame game. What happens is then a lot of times, especially as a child, because everybody's telling you it's your fault, right? You take it on as it's your fault, and it becomes extreme this way, where anything that happens, you think that it's your fault. You just take it on. There's nothing wrong with being reflective. When you have a challenge with somebody or you have a problem with someone, there's nothing wrong with that. That is an excellent thing to have, is to reflect on yourself. Why is this happening? What did I do in this situation? However, if you have been in that shame and blame game, what can happen is you reflect, but you take it on all, like it's all your responsibility. It's totally your fault. And you say, oh, I shouldn't have done that. It's because I did this. It's because I did that. And you're not seeing the clear picture. You're not seeing that the other person is responsible for their part in the situation or the challenge too, not just you. And this is where pine flower essence can help us release that guilt and shame. Whatever the situation is, it can help you release that. So that way you have more of an internal peace. You can reflect and you can see, okay, yes, I was responsible for that. And this is what happened in this situation. However, I don't have to live with all this blame. I don't have to take all this blame all the time. I don't have to do that. And I don't have to live in shame. I can be calm. I can be responsible for my part. However, something that happened to me as a child, and I was a child and there was adults around who were supposed to be protecting me, and I wasn't protected. For example, say there was physical violence against you, which is sexual violence, which is maybe physical violence, physical violence. And those situations are where your boundaries have been busted as a small child. Someone's come in, overstepped their boundaries with you, and they put the shame and blame on you. Don't tell. It's your fault. This type of thing. And you keep that for yourself because you're a small child. You don't have boundaries. anymore because someone's come into those boundaries and you take it as always it's your fault. And a lot of people who are struggling in relationships where they are being violated daily have this. It's always their fault. And the other person who's beating them or violating them sexually is telling them it's their fault. That's the reason they're doing it. That's why they're beating them. That's the reason why they have this violence against them. And they start believing it, right? They start believing this. They believe that it's their fault, and it's not their fault. It's not their fault at all. This other person is possessive, controlling, out of control, And they have a lot of anger issues and fear issues. And that's not the person who's being beaten or violated on a daily basis. That is not their problem. It's the other person's problem, but they keep taking it for themselves. And this is where pine flower essence, that beautiful pine tree. I mean, if you look at the pine tree, isn't it just gorgeous? The little needles on it, the green needles. And then you have the cone on it. And before that, you have this beautiful little flower. And this can help you let go of it. It's kind of like, when you see the needles of that pine tree, it clears away that shame and blame. It lets that go. It helps you clear that out of your energy field first, because if you are suffering from physical violence now or from before, it will help you clear that out, that blame and the shame that you are holding within yourself. And it will let that go. So when we look at a flower essence, not only are we looking at the flower itself, we're looking at the tree or the plant that is bringing us the soul of it, the flower. And so look at the bark of a pine tree. Look at the needles of a pine tree, the cones of a pine tree. And you'll really understand the depth of how this tree and its flower can help you. It can be your superpower to let go of that shame and that blame. Let it all go. And what you can do is you can take 4 drops under your tongue 4 times a day. That's a good way to start off with it. So you can take it. Pine is a Bach flower remedy, so you know that. And you can just take 4 drops under your tongue like this 4 times a day. And then if you feel like your mind is really playing with you and you're feeling shameful or you're having a challenge, you just keep blaming yourself for everything that's happened. Take it in that situation again, because you can take it as often as needed. That's what's great about flowers. You can take them as often as needed. I know when I first took pine over 30 years ago, I was dealing with all that shame and blame from a molestation, a cousin. And I had all this blame within myself. I was 3 years old. Come on. But you hold that in your energy field. You hold that out there. And pine really helped me let go of the shame and blame, where I could go on to the next flower that I needed, which was sticky monkey flower, for fear of intimacy. And this is how flowers work is we are in layers. And we have layers of things that have affected us. And they help us release one layer out here. and then another layer. And this is how we evolve and come back to who we truly are, how we came to this earth and what was our purpose. Flower essences really help us stay on purpose. And this is the reason why we have decided to do this once a week. We had our March, emotional healing month. We were doing it twice a week, and now we're doing it once a week on Wednesdays here at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, to help you understand how flowers are your superpowers. So I hope this has helped you understand a little bit more about pine flower essence. And I also want to let you know that next Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, we are going to have our master class on how to use flower essences and essential oils for shame and blame. So we want to invite you to come. I'll put the link below so that way you guys can hit it. It's totally free. We would love to have you there. And Ruth and I and my team can't wait to share more with you about emotional intelligence, on shame and blame, and of course, forgiveness with flower essences and essential oils. See you there, and please put your comments below. Don't forget your essentials. Use your common sense. Au revoir.